Everyone loves Spider-Man. If you don't exist in this plane of reality. I don't make the rules here. But I admit that Brand New Day was an uphill climb. Partly because the MCU has been pretty bad and inconsistent, partly because Across was a bit of a disaster behind the scenes that betrayed my trust in two directors that I kinda liked and made me distrust beyond being good. And hey, I want a theater experience, and Spider-Man is the only movie I can take my parents to without making them feel like I'm abandoning them to see the Odyssey. So, why not? I like the Thunderbolts, so I'm crossing my fingers that I'm getting something good here. Guys, I am hope-pilled. Genuinely, and I spent a few days thinking on it. Not only is it my favorite MCU Spider-Man movie, but I genuinely believe that it's one of the best Marvel movies in general. It's that good. This movie, I dare say, is what I wanted Superman 2025 to be. A movie focused on a superhero's humanity while also having a bunch of characters that tie into the theme of the movie. I didn't like Superman that much. Peter Parker is a walking hypocrite. He refuses to be human and connect to anyone after everything from No Way Home, and yet he is afraid to let go of the connections he used to have and embrace the changes in his life as his spider side begins to change him. It's such a unique take that stands on its own compared to like Spider-Man 2, which covered similar ideas of balancing both sides of the spider coin, and it impresses me that it really does feel like a standalone movie that takes place in the greater MCU, instead of needing to do homework to understand the premise, like why the Scarlet Witch is evil, or the Thunderbolts, or that dumb list that you need to watch in order to understand anything about Doomsday. Okay. Sure, you have people like the Punisher, and Yelena, and the Hulk, and the Villain, characters who have their own stories and lore, but it doesn't feel like they're just here to fill seats. They act as foils for Spider-Man and his central arc. The Punisher is like Peter, someone who lost family and closed himself from others. Yelena is able to tell that Peter is straight up miserable through the facade he puts up. Bruce Banner tells Peter the danger of suppressing parts of yourself, who is a bit of a hypocrite himself since he got that slap-on bracelet that locks up the Hulk.
Oh.
They all tie into the story so well to the point that I don't mind them, and I wish that this was a staple that Marvel movies took. Less winks at the audience to point at, and more like, who can I take to make this story the best they can be? Because, sure, Ant-Man, the Falcon definitely improved your movie there. It's like what Phyllis said about how Mr. Mario was used in Thor, Love and Thunder.
That's so bizarre, because here we have a character whose mom died from cancer. You'd think he should have come back later and maybe had a heart-to-heart with Jane about her cancer diagnosis, but nope, the Guardians all get yeeted out of the movie as soon as possible.
Why bother having these guys appear at all if they're not gonna serve the story? And if the movie was just good writing, I'd be satisfied with that. I like No Way Home and Invincible. Good visuals are not a priority. But dear God, I missed when superhero movies look good. Dude, the action is insane. They got a real action guy to do it right. Moving the camera, single takes with multiple blows instead of cutting away every hit with a shot. I love stunts. I love these wacky shots they pick. I don't care if they're corny to you. I'm here for a comic book movie. And I think having these stunts really help contrast to the CGI fights, since it doesn't feel like a cheap answer to everything. It's used to enhance stuff or do stuff you can't do normally. Pretty sure you kill a man trying to do this. But you do what you can do, like having Spider-Man wear the suit. Oh my god! I sat in awe and seeing this perfect suit with all the wrinkles and creases. Oh my god, I'd rather take this than any CGI suit anyway. Oh my god. It is just so cool. How can you not geek over this? And of course, you have some detractors. Some people may say, hey, Spider-Man isn't broke. What's the deal? And I feel that it's misting the forest for the trees. Spider-Man's struggle balance isn't a physical one like in Spider-Man 2, where he struggles and fails to do the things that he wants to do because of his responsibilities and status. But rather, it's an emotional front where the pendulum swings too far in the other direction, where great power comes great responsibility, something that only he can bear for himself. That is what I find interesting. In an age where we've grown more disconnected and more disillusioned with the world and in others, it's easy to put yourself in an isolated state. It's easier and better to be by yourself and not to lean on others and complicate things. It isn't something that's impacted by money or status or living conditions, because like all of those things, Spider-Maning is a distraction for the emotional turmoil that he puts himself into, because deep down, he desires a connection. For the heart isn't something you stifle easily. There is an argument to be made that there could have been something like this and it could work, but the movie works well enough without it since it's so focused on Spider-Man's connections and others throughout. I feel that it would have taken it away. especially with the villain slash antagonist. And again, I've seen some qualms about Jean Grey. She's an X-Men woman, and we're supposed to feel bad for her when she's antagonizing Spider-Man and hurting people? My guy, Iron Man used to profit out of war. Thor was a literal warmonger. I think your priorities are a bit messed up. Jean Grey herself reflects on what Spider-Man could have become in No Way Home. Someone who lost one of the few people he could truly connect with and becomes bitter. Whereas Peter was saved by a sound support system and others to guide him when he went astray, Jean had no such conscience. Someone actively hostile to anyone and everyone who she presumes to be her enemy. And in her life, when she has no Aunt May, when she has no one, when the world seems to hate her, why not fight back? It may not be the most moral of choices. I'm not even defending it because, yeah, she definitely got someone in a coma there. But she's a kid who's already had so much taken away. It wasn't Spider-Man who saved her. It was Peter Parker's humanity. And like, if we're gonna introduce the X-Men, this is probably the best way to do it. Let's see how Doomsday handles it. All I want from Doomsday is to make people not like mutants because of what happens in Doomsday specifically, please. Oh, please. Now, I can't ignore the elephant in the room, that being the AI that was unfortunately used here. On one hand, AI is stinky, but I don't want to disregard everything from this movie that was made by hand just because a concept artist couldn't bother using their imagination. It's a tricky slope and Marvel no doubt could have done it without AI in general, and I encourage them to do so, but alas, we live in modern time. I just ask that this be the exception for movies, and that we focus our efforts on more dumb things that more prominently use and encourage AI. Because it wasn't this that made people want to see Spider-Man, it was the humans who put the heart in it. And while I could dedicate more time to it, maybe in the future, I got like 3 other videos in the works, including my indie cross analysis video, but man, this has made me so hopeful for the future. As silly as it is to say about a Spider-Man movie of all things, I don't know. Again, it means so much to me. So, maybe I can say I'm excited for Beyond the Spider-Verse. As long as that movie is ethically made, because holy sh**. Oh no, guys, you're supposed to uplift my spirits. Oh yeah, I made a YouTube memberships thingy. Still new, but if you want to have your name at the end of these videos as well as help support me in the long run, it'd be greatly appreciated if you could join in. Or, you know, let me know if the prices are too expensive or cheap or whatever, honestly. And maybe even some other perks as well, if I think of any. I don't know, maybe polls for future videos or things like that. I don't know.